Okay. I'm going to put my own personal opinion about the New Day aside because I am going to talk about that in this video. But the first thing that I need to talk about is the draft. The overall purpose of the draft is to start new feuds on either brand, to to refresh either brand and make it less stale. This entire draft in itself was pointless. And this is just for the first day, for the first round one draft, whatever you call it, the first day on Friday. It was dumb. Majority of the people that got drafted stayed on their respective brands. All the champions, except for one, stayed on their respective brands. It made no sense to have this. But the one ray of hope that I had, and I guess maybe that's a play on words, but the one little sliver of hope that I had was the fact that Seth Rollins left Monday nights and went to SmackDown. That was something that excited me a little bit because I wanted the Rey Mysterio, Dominic Mysterio, Seth Rollins, Buddy Murphy, and Rey Mysterio's entire crusty crew. I wanted that feud to die a very quick death and be over. I was tired of seeing Rey Mysterio on my screen. And it's not that I hate the guy. I like Rey Mysterio. He is a legend in his field. I am not going to take that away from him. No one can. But my goodness, am I tired of seeing the man on my screen? I want Dominic Mysterio to be Dominic, to be someone separated from the family name, for somebody who comes through a legacy. Like Dominic Mysterio, you want him to be able to find his own voice, his own name, his own character without being tied to his dad. And I guess you can make the same argument about Charlotte. She had to go through that. But that's a whole nother video in itself, and I'm not going to go too much into that. But when it comes to Dominic Mysterio, I'm not going to lie. When I saw him perform against Seth Rollins, and I can't remember what pay-per-view it was. I think it was SummerSlam. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But when he actually faced Seth Rollins, I was really impressed. I thought it was too early. I thought the guy was green as goose crap. But it shows that he wasn't. He has been training for 6 years. So the guy is actually very well seasoned, and it showed in the ring. He may have had a few botches here and there, but it was way better than what I expected. And honestly, he blew me away. He blew me out of the water with how good he was. And it shows that he doesn't need his dad. But the fact is, Rey is always on the screen. And then he invited his entire crusty crew in there. And it's kind of eclipsing Dominic. Now it's all about his sister. I'm like, can we please just push them away? It is obvious that his wife doesn't want to be on the screen. I don't know about the daughter. It could be a possibility that she might be a luchadora. I don't know. But the fact is that I want it to be about Dominic, not about Rey and Dominic. I want Rey to disappear. I want him to retire, go away, go behind scenes, something. I'm tired of seeing Rey on my screen. But this is not a rant about Rey Mysterio. The fact is, I'm more ranting and a little bit annoyed of the fact that they put them on SmackDown just so they can feud with Seth Rollins again. Just so we just saw on Raw the deterioration between him and Buddy. We thought that was all over, and it's just time for Seth to move on. His backstage promo by far was the greatest because it shows that yes, it is time to move on, time to create new pastures, blaze new trails. That's the best you could ever do. And I agree with that 100%, but now you're going to bring back an old stale feud that should have died at the last pay-per-view. It was dumb, man. It was dumb. And yeah, I'm getting to the New Day. Don't worry about that. But the thing is, the first jump, it was dumb. You have everybody that's already been announced. The whole Mandy Rose thing was stupid because they've already announced that she's been drafted to Raw. Why? Because of The Miz. Can somebody answer me this? How did The Miz, of all people, get that much clout to be able to move somebody from one brand to another? Can somebody answer me that? That's the one thing I don't get. I don't understand at all how this happened. How was The Miz able to get that much clout to move someone from one brand to another? And the stupid lawsuit that he has with Otis is just dumb. I was hoping that and they're moving to Raw now, while Otis is on SmackDown, so there was no reason to continue this. Anyway, in itself, the first round, the first night of the draft was dumb. It was so stupid. It's going to probably be stupid on the last night. I don't know why they decided to do this. I don't know why they decided to have a draft in the first place if they're not going to really move anyone. It's just dumb. And I'm going to talk about the matches themselves for a little bit. The matches themselves were actually pretty fun. I had absolutely no beef with it. But there were two matches that made zero sense to me. Number one, it was Kevin Owens versus The Fiend. Why is this happening? Why is this match happening? It shouldn't be happening at all. They've already made this mistake with Seth Rollins. When you have The Fiend out there should be a reason, a strong reason to have The Fiend on television. It should be a novelty, just like how The Undertaker was at every performance he was in when it came to WrestleMania. And every WrestleMania that Undertaker was in was a treat because we don't see him that often. That's what made it special. The same thing with The Fiend. Why is this happening with Kevin Owens? Unless they're planning on turning Kevin Owens heel. I hope so. The whole Twisted Bliss, Sister Bliss, Abigail Bliss, whatever you want to call it, they have missed the mark on that. They should have, they refused to blow their load when it came to Alexa Bliss, but they're blowing their load when it came to Sasha Banks. I don't understand that logic at all. It made no sense. They should have executed Alexa Bliss during WrestleMania between Braun Strowman and The Fiend with her smack dab in the middle, and that aftermath afterwards. They should have done it there, but it took too long. Now it's to the point where it's starting to lose interest, and they're trying to build it up, and it was stupid. But let's move on to Miss Banks and Miss Bayley. Why is this a match? Why is this happening? Yeah, you had a faulty finish, but it shouldn't happen at all. It should have went straight to Hell in a Cell. They should not have been on SmackDown having a match at all. No matter how good it was, no matter how ferocious it was, it should have waited at Hell in a Cell. Why? Because you want them to blow off steam there, not on primetime TV. This should have waited. This should have waited. This should not have happened at all. I don't get it. I don't understand it. It made no sense. But overall, this first night was stupid. I don't know why they're having a draft. It is pointless. They actually did build interest for me for a few of these draft picks, but then they just blew it by taking the people that they're feuding with on with them.